Studio 41 Football Recap Live is brought to you by Studio 41 Home Design Showroom. 13 locations, studio41.com. Vertical, in business since 1985. Chicago's chimney experts for chimney cleanings, masonry work, gas logs. Verticalchimney.com. Your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers, the official truck partner of the Chicago Bears. Hooters. At Hooters, originality isn't just one thing, it's everything. World-famous wings and more, served up by the iconic Hooters girl. Hooters, always original. Dr. Pepper, an American original, just like our Chicago Bears. Grab an ice-cold, refreshing Dr. Pepper today at a McDonald's near you. Special Olympics Illinois. Special Olympics Illinois, so I did. Learn more at SOILL.org. Apt. For the best appliances for football season, shop at Apt. Pleasing people since 1936. Find them at apt.com. Four Seasons, heating, plumbing, air conditioning, and electric. For all the right reasons, Four Seasons. The Illinois Tollway. If you're a true Chicago fan who loves speed and efficiency, join the team that always wins. Sign up for iPass today. Driving to the Bears game? You get a 50% discount on your tolls with iPass. Hey, welcome into Studio 41 Football Recap Live. I'm David Kaplan, Tommy Waddle, Olin Kreutz. Kevin Byard will join us a little later. And there's a brand new, amazingly popular song about the Chicago Bears, and we will play it here on the show a little later. But let's get right into reviewing a 31-28 Bears victory. They keep finding a way. Oh, Aaron Rodgers out. Oh, a couple dropped interceptions. Find a way. It's our Four Seasons game day breakdown. All right, Tommy, I'm going to start with you this week. We have laughed. Olin was texting me a little earlier, a couple plays where, balls are hitting guys right in the hands for the Steelers, and they're dropping them. Oh, the starting quarterback's not going to play. It's unbelievable, but they're finding a way.
Cap, you know what they say? Some days you're the bug, other days you're the windshield, and they've been the windshield for quite a bit. And you have to acknowledge that the ball has bounced in their direction, but you don't make any excuses for it. What I said last week or the week before, when the football gods present you with a huge helping of good fortune, you got to sit and eat and eat and eat. And, there are plenty of teams that have the ball bounce in their direction and they don't do anything with it. So, when in fact the ball has bounced in their direction, they have made the most of it. So, just keep on keeping on. I love the fact that, it's a different guy every game. Some weeks it's Caleb having to lead you down the field for a last-second touchdown. Other weeks it's the defense taking the ball away 2 or 3 times. And then the next week, your special teams comes up with a big play. So, it's one of those seasons where you enjoy the hell out of it and you just continue the ride. The train keeps rolling down the tracks and you celebrate all of it.
Oh, gee, you were part of a team, I think it was 01, where some of those things were going your guys' way and you went, I think 13-3, correct me if I'm wrong, pass to beat Cleveland, or a Hail Mary to James Allen finds a way to catch it. How do you, some of it, you and I talked the other day, all these takeaways are unsustainable as a model for victory every week, but you just ride it as long as you can, right?
Definitely, especially when you have 7 defensive starters out. And eventually somebody might want to ask Ben Johnson, what faith is he, right? Because we have a pope from Chicago. I wonder if this guy is Catholic. I'm wondering what's going on here when you watch this football team. It really is You guys like Nashawn Wright covering DK Metcalf again, interception. You mentioned Cap how it seems to be a different guy every week, right? It just guys making plays, guys you don't expect to see on the field. I don't know about you guys. When I was watching the game, I kept going back to my roster to see who I was watching on special teams. Who is this tight end who's throwing his body all over the place? And I still can't say his name, right? And who are these linebackers making all these plays? And obviously Billings and Grady Jarrett and Javon Dexter are fighting their butts off in front of him to keep blocks off of them. But as Tom says, man, I mean, you win some, you win them, and you move on. You don't apologize for winning football games, as you're talking about, Cap. Just like in 2001, where our defense gave up under 12 points a game, really good defense. This offense right now is a really good offense. They scored 31 points, right? 31 points to beat the Steelers. That's not by accident, right? That's posting Loveland in a matchup. And I'm sure Tom loved the motion by DJ Moore and clearing out the whole side of the field. And Poston Loveland, man, if you can even see him, it looks like he's open now, right? And Caleb Williams whipping that ball in, and just the plays that were being made and the plays that were being called by Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen, giving his guys a chance, staying aggressive, putting Brisker at linebacker. Just a really fun team, to be honest with you. I was thinking this when I was watching them on film. There's some teams you don't like to watch on film. Like, I don't like to watch the Steelers run game. It honestly absolutely disgusts me when I watch them in their 2-point stands and don't come off the ball. And look, guys, I mean, the Bears have 3 linebackers out. The Steelers run some silly reverse running back play outside to the left for the first play of the game. And then they throw a bomb that gets intercepted to DK Metcalf. They don't come out and challenge the backups, right? But the Chicago Bears, when you watch them play, Monanga is coming downhill. Swift is coming downhill. Dennis Allen is setting blitzes. Byard, the guy we're having on here soon, he'll hit you. He'll cover you. He'll intercept the ball. They are a fun football team to watch on film.
I'll say this too, fellas. I think we all agreed this was a game because you had 7 guys out on the defensive side of the ball where the offense has to say, look, fellas, you know what? This one's on us. We'll do the heavy lifting. We're going to be the reason why we win this game. You've been so generous to us all season long, leading the league in takeaways. You've given us great field position. Let us do the heavy lifting. And it wasn't a perfect performance from their offense. There were mistakes, but at the end of the day, as Olin said, they hung 31 on an NFL defense that is, basically coordinated by Mike Tomlin. So you have to tip your cap. And I would be, I would be disingenuous if I didn't also, say that I was really impressed with the defense. Look, they gave up 340 yards and really only 21 points because the Steelers scored 7 points on their own defense. So I give Dennis Allen and all these guys, so much credit. But the thing that kind of just warms my heart as a guy that was a try-hard guy, wasn't a draft pick. Look, my career, my first 2 years, I shuttled back and forth from the practice squad. It didn't happen for me until my 3rd year in the league, the opening game of the season against the Minnesota Vikings in 1991. And my shit was prepared because I was just hoping for an opportunity. The only reason I was on the field was because we had so many injuries. And fortunately for me, I went out there, I had a touchdown catch and a 3rd down conversion, and it kind of set the foundation for what was, my very mediocre career in the league, but a career nonetheless. And I just love watching some of these guys like Olin mentioned. I don't even know their names.
DeMarco Jackson, 15 freaking tackles.
You know what, guys? Like, that just warms the cockles of my heart because I don't know if he'll be a long-term solution here in Chicago. I don't know how long he'll play. But the truth is he got an opportunity to kind of establish himself. He made the most of it. And to see guys like that, Nashawn Wright, who, has not really been able to secure a foundation in this league, but has done that this year. The guys that you don't expect a ton out of, but you give them a chance and they deliver. That's what this game's all about. Sometimes it's good fortune. You got to be lucky. I'll profess that you have, in a lot of ways you create your own good fortune, but to watch guys who I don't even know who the hell they are step in and make plays, that's what this game's about.
Hey, Olin, this guy said, Eric, yes, 13-3 and 0-1. The Cleveland comeback. I was watching that game at the Naval Base in Rota, Spain. I just completed my 3rd deployment heading back to the States a month and a half after 9/11. So he remembers where he was when that happened.
Butch Davis took his headset off. They were celebrating on the Cleveland sideline. I'm sure you guys remember.
Yes.
And we came back, and James Allen came from the backfield, caught the ball. But the next week was when Mike Brown did it again and ended the game with a pick six. Brian Robinson had pressure on, I think it was Garcia at that time, quarterback. And Mike Brown caught it. He went up the tunnel, and we went up the tunnel with him because we knew we were stealing one that day. But to Tom's point, man, I was watching number 45 hit the gap on a power, right? And I'm like, I can't even say the guy's name, but after the way he hit Malo, I said, man, I'm in Ogung Muga. I got to learn his name. He's hitting people, man. I mean, these young linebackers were playing as hard as they could. But to me, man, Tom, I don't know what you thought when you watched this film, but what I see from the Chicago Bears are almost complete buy-in by wherever they have to play, whatever they have to do to try to get a win. And to me, that is a dangerous football team. And we know the limitations of this football team we're watching on film. And I'm excited to see them against the Eagles this week to see what they are and how we match up. But every guy who comes in, I posted a clip today on Twitter on a run play, and everybody's on the same angle, getting on their guy. Even Roma Dunze is on the same angle as the tackle, the guard, the center, the tight end. That's buy-in to me, man. And I don't know if you guys are seeing that when you're watching the film, but I'm seeing it. And to me, that's guys who say, look, we believe in the coaches. We believe in what they're saying. We believe if we do what they're telling us to do, we'll have success.
I think it's trust, Olin. I really do. And I've said this a lot, that trust the plan that they have for you, trust the positions they're putting you in, and trust your own natural ability and skill. And, even these guys that maybe are free agents or you didn't think much of them, like they've spent their entire lives waiting for this moment in this situation. And if you trust what you're being taught, whether it's Ben Johnson or it's Dennis Allen or it's Al Harris or it's Antoine Randall, whoever it is, if you trust the coaching and they trust what your assignment is and you're willing to go out there and do whatever is necessary, it's a fun brand of football to watch. I don't have any delusions. I don't know that they're going to win the Super Bowl, but Jesus, this has been a fun season for me to watch the Bears play football.
Hey, let's go.
Cap one. I think they were 1-13 in the last 14 games. They're 8-3. In their last 11. I want to go there and buy them a beer myself. So I don't have to come on here and talk about the nonsense that we usually talk about. I love complimenting the coaching staff. Ryan Post, his guys show up. Ozzie Trapillo shows up. I'm sure we'll get into all of that. But the young guys who went into the game, the linebackers, the guys you picked up, the guys you drafted, Dominic Robinson on the edge, right? Austin Booker, Tyrone Shoyinka. I mean, all these guys. I mean, they didn't sue Jonathan Ford. I thought they were nuts, guys. I said, you're not going to sue your backup nose guard with all your backup linebackers. I thought the Pittsburgh Steelers would make them pay for that choice. But hey, Grady Jarrett moved to nose guard and fought his butt off. The inside three were fighting in there. I mean, it wasn't great. It wasn't pretty, but they found a way to win a football game.
That's exactly right. Our apt players of the game, courtesy of the OG Olin Kreutz. I called him. I said, all right, who do you want as players of the game? We picked Montez Sweat, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 2 quarterback hits, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and Nahshon Wright. The dude just keeps making plays, tied with Kevin Byard with 5 interceptions to lead the National Football League. Apt, pleasing people since 1936. Go to apt.com. Bosch dishwashers and other home appliances, all available at Apt. So I was talking to Olin. I said, okay, who should I pick for player of the game? And he said, well, I don't know how you're not going to.
He wanted Cairo again. He wanted Cairo Santos again. You know how Cap is, right?
That is not true.
He wanted Torrey Taylor, Olin. That's
Torrey Taylor.
That's more.
Come on, Torrey. Keep it out of the end zone, buddy. At the end of the game, please. Come on.
He's got a big leg, but God, you can't put that in the end zone in that situation. Come on now.
Listen, Ozzie Trapillo's got a big leg. I don't want him punting for me.
No. So Watching, we'll get to
That
him
is
in a
a
minute.
big human being,
Yeah.
man.
You know,
Wow.
Olin, I played with his dad at Boston
Oh,
College.
okay.
His dad, Steve, he played in the league for several years. He played with the Saints for 5 or 6 years. And he was never, I mean, Steve was not 6'8". He was a mauler, and he was like just a great football player. You would have loved him as an offensive tackle. Ozzie comes from, good genes. But I love good stories, and think about that. And I would ask you, Olin, I don't mean to hijack the conversation, Cap. But
No, that's awesome to play with a see a guy's son that you played with playing is awesome.
And Olin, he probably hasn't had more than a handful of snaps at left tackle in how long, and yet you put him over there, and you know this 1,000 times better than I. I don't know what I'm looking at. All I know is I didn't hear his name mentioned at all in the broadcast, which to me is very comforting, and just another reminder that guys, when you're asked to answer the bell, guys are answering the bell.
Yeah, he was very, very efficient. And Ben Johnson and Coach Rochar had a great plan, right? Lining tight ends up and widening those guys out. I know Herbig, obviously from St. Louis High School in Honolulu, Hawaii. And I asked somebody today, I said, ask Herbig for me, why does he widen outside the tight ends when they split out? Like, you're so far from the quarterback. But the plan and what you're talking about makes so much sense to me now, Tom, after watching him, because he never beat himself with his size. Very efficient, put himself in good spots, always on the right guys. He made those guys beat him. And when you have that length and that size, it's hard to do. It's hard to do that to a young football player that looks like he does understand the football game like you're talking about and played a hell of a game.
So, Olin, let me ask you this. As you look at a guy like Ozzie Trapillo, now Theo Benedette was a full go if they had practice today. Everything was just a walkthrough and an estimation. They said he would have been a full go. Who do you start at left tackle on Friday, knowing it was Theo's job and now Ozzie may have taken it?
Well, I start my starter. I start Theo Benedict. That's who I put out there. I put him out there to play, and Ozzie had a good game, but also, like I talked about, there's a lot of help coming his way. Soldier Field you guys seen the surface? Remember when Monangai could have ended the game and he slipped? Soldier Field's a hard place to rush the passer late in the year, right? So it advantage Chicago Bears, but I think Theo Benedict has earned that spot, Cap. And if you put his film on through his starts, he has earned that spot to be the starter there. That's why I go back to, obviously, if he falls apart in pass pro, and it's going to be in Philadelphia, it's going to be tough, man. They're on the road, and Nolan Smith and Phillips and all the guys they have coming down the pipe for the Chicago Bears. But what an opportunity for them. But I do go back to Theo.
Tommy, in terms of looking at this Eagles team, they're really good, but they just blew a 21-point lead to the Dallas Cowboys. So what are the key? It's going to be an angry football team, obviously, having blown a game. What is the biggest key as you look at this game?
I think you got to play mistake-free football. You go on the road on a short week. You can't beat yourself. I got to tell you, I'm not overly impressed, and this may sound stupid, but I know the Eagles are the defending, world champions. I think their offense is broken a little bit at this point. You would expect with the guys in their huddle that they'd be more efficient, and they'd be, they've played some really good defenses. Don't get me wrong.
Missing Lane Johnson's a huge piece.
And they've been without their starting center for quite some time as well. So, and defensively, Vic is as good as it gets as a defensive coordinator, but they don't have that stinger, I mean, would it shock you to know that the Chicago Bears have more total sacks defensively than the Eagles do at this point? And Vic doesn't blitz a lot, he's not, that's not his thing. He has a group that gets to the quarterback with their front four. So he tries to get to you with your front four, and then he plays, some man coverage on the back end because you've got some athletes. They're missing a couple of safeties. When I look at the Eagles, I see a team that's got so much talent, but like they don't look like the same team that won the Super Bowl last year. And I think it's, you always talk about the lack of harmony that exists inside that locker room. It's the one thing I know exists in our locker room. There's some infighting, and I just don't think that this group has found their way so far. So I guess in a long way, home, I'm trying to say is like, this is, you're stepping up in class. This would be the toughest challenge they'll have since what, Olin? Detroit probably?
Yeah, for sure.
But like, and they're going to be out there. They probably look at this Bears defense, depending on who's available and who isn't, it is an opportunity for them to get right on offense. But yeah, I mean, this is just not the same Eagles team that I saw late in the season last year, but they're still very good.
OG, in terms of looking at the Bears run game, you love the way that they are run blocking. Are you at all concerned about pass protection, or are you pretty comfortable with it?
Definitely concerned about on the road, especially we saw the mistake that Caleb made last week, and you kind of thought, man, this could be coming, right? The way he holds the ball and rolls out. And, we talked about the guys they have on the edge there, Smith and, and Phillips, they got from the Miami Dolphins. They said Dolphins just want to give the Eagles another Super Bowl, right? We'll just give you the pass rusher you've been missing. Here you go. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, they got guys. They did a nice job trying to match Dean up. Nakobe Dean, their linebacker, on the running back is a matchup to watch in the game. Fangio does it a nice job. But guys, pay-per-view event, right? Ben Johnson versus Vic Fangio, man. Pay the money to watch this matchup. These two guys go against each other and scheme each other up. I can't wait for this matchup for Chicago Bears. When's the last time we said that? And guess what, man? I mean, when you play a team like this, it should look really hard. When you play the world champs at home, it should be a tough challenge for you. But one day, I'm sure the Chicago Bears, where they are at 8-3, can't wait to get to. They can't wait to get there to fight these guys tooth and nail, turn it into a street fight, right? I mean, they're giving up 19 points at home. The Bears' run game is going to be critical. They're on the road, right? Keep themselves in manageable down and distances. Keep themselves right before they got that sack fumble in the end zone, Darnell Wright got that holding call on Watt, right? And players like that cause problems. Watt caused problems coming inside, grab, now you're in 2nd and 20, and you're just trying to do too much sometimes. So those are the kind of things, situations we got to stay out of against the Philadelphia Eagles, but just the matchup, man, between Ben Johnson and Fangio and their two units, and can Dennis Allen keep creating magic with this defense with the guys he got on field, and just an exciting game to watch there. Remember where we were last Thanksgiving, right? I mean, gosh, that was my Bears clothes stayed in my closet, right? They stayed in my closet for years. I got my Bears gear out again. I'm walking around telling my neighbors, how about those Bears? Everywhere I go up, everybody's like, oh, the Bears are awesome. I just say, yeah, they are. And we all know what's going on, and we all know that this schedule is about to get tough. But Chicago Bears are getting better, playing good football, they're moving in the right direction, Cap. And what you're talking about, their run game, Dan Rochar got them running off the football. Mononga's coming downhill. Trust me, the Eagles know they better get the pads low or they'll get moved off the ball.
And guys, too, like, I don't want to oversell the concept of belief, but it's real. I mean, we all know in this game, if you see a little bit of indecision in the guy's eyes across from you, then you got a chance, and this – I tell you, I think this Bears team would play you on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They play you on the face of the moon, and they think that they're going to beat you. And I think that that's really important. I think going on the road, short week against the defending champs, coming off a horrible loss. I just think that this Bears team is reveling in the opportunity to go to Philadelphia. I've said this. I think on a national front, who gives a shit about the national guys, because they really don't watch it as closely as we do. But I think from the national perspective, they look at this Bears team and they go, wow, that's a really good story. You go to Philadelphia and beat the Eagles on Friday in their building, you go from being a good story to being considered on the national front as a really good team. And I think, I don't know how important that is, but I think it's, you got an opportunity in a statement game to really kind of, lay the groundwork for, continuing what's been a really exciting season.
Hey, our vertical catch of the game is the Nahshon Wright interception on the Mason Rudolph. It was his first pass of the game, down the sideline looking for DK Metcalf. An absolutely sick pick, incredible ability to secure the ball and keep their feet in vertical in business since 1985. Chicago's chimney experts for chimney cleanings, masonry work, gas logs. Show you how good their service is. I couldn't get my fireplace to get the pilot light lit because I'm too stupid to figure it out. And I texted one of their workers who had been at my house a year ago, and he called me at 7 o'clock on a Friday and said, bro, Let me talk you through it. And he talked me through it, and bam, my fireplace was roaring. That's the service you get, verticalchimney.com. Olin, Tommy said on the radio this afternoon that he thinks the tush push is not long for the National Football League. I heard Jason Kelsey talk about it, and he said, I'm exhausted at the end of those games when I had to execute the tush push, but he said it is a great weapon if you know how to do it. Would you have liked to have been playing when that was being popularized if you had to be the guy right there in the middle of it?
Of course, you want to just be in there and crawling off the ball, and who doesn't love getting their helmet to helmet to somebody and trying to drive guys back off the ball on a quarterback sneak. Now, I remember I used to move the ball forward. I tell the quarterback, just fall down. We got it already, right? And all of a sudden, John Madden circled me one day doing it. He ruined it for me. So I remember one time I was playing the Packers, and the guy put his hand by the ball because he knew I did that. So I put the ball on his elbow, and the ref told him to back up. And then there was one time I actually put the ball in the end zone, and the ref was like, "Oh, and that's too much. Like, you can't just put the ball in the end zone." So I mean, man, we're trying to get a first down. You know what I mean? Like, I used to always think 1st and 9.5 is better than 1st and 10, right? I'm gonna run up, put my feet right over the ball, and jack that ball forward. Like, I'm just trying to get us a little yard to half a yard, and sometimes that could be a difference in the NFL game. But yeah, I mean, get down low, get a 4-point stand, and fly off that ball. It's an interesting play. You saw, just this week they did the reverse on us, right? So took it down 55 yards and scored a touchdown on the next play. So that play has a lot of gadget plays off of it. A lot of people are working that play against people. It's just an interesting play to watch. And I just think it's in the NFL, man, if you want to stop someone from scoring or stop a play, stop them. Now, they do have to call when the Eagles are offsides.
Well, that's the point I was going to make. Like, I don't have a problem with the play. I have the problem with how the play's been officiated. I think the officials have done a really shitty job at trying to, guys are jumping off sides, guys, whether it's the defensive line or the offensive line. I don't think that they have officiated the play correctly. So I don't have a problem with the play. I would just say, hey, guys, the guys in the striped shirts, make sure that if somebody jumps offside, whether it's the defensive guy or the offensive guy, throw the flag. Don't just sit there with your hands in your pockets because, I don't know what you're watching, but I just think the play has been officiated poorly across the board for a long time.
Yeah, I've seen quarterbacks get stopped. I haven't seen Hurts get stopped. Right, yeah. I haven't seen a 600-pound squatter get stopped yet.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, so there's just a strong. You have a strong quarterback. I mean, that's why they drafted that guy.
Yeah, Jason Kelsey was saying you have. I think it was a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. The other team actually got into the neutral zone and they called the Eagles for the penalty. And Nick Sirianni went freaking crazy.
That's my point is it's being officiated in just such a shitty fashion that, if you officiate it correctly, you should keep the play in. But if you can't officiate the play, then I don't know what to tell you. And I think there's some fatigue, whether it's legitimate or not, for the play, if in fact you can't officiate correctly. I would just say my point all along was, if you want to take the play out of the game because you think it's unfair that guys are pushing, then don't allow the guys on the 5-yard line to be pushed, running backs to be pushed into the end zone. That's all I've said. Just be consistent. You can call whatever you want from my perspective. Just make it consistent and let everybody that's on the field know that we're going to be consistent with how we officiate this play.
OG Charlie says, I went to high school with Richie Incognito, and I remember asking who his favorite player was, and he said Olin Kreutz.
Incognito had a good career, man. He ended up being a good football player. He had those problems with the Dolphins, but I think he went to the Raiders and had a good stretch run there, played really good guard there. I think coming out of Nebraska, he was a center, and I think he was after my really good friend Dominic Raiola. So I think there's a little bit of a connection there.
Yeah, and then he ended up moving out to guard. And you're right, after Miami, he did go on, I think, to Arizona play, have a hell of a run.
Yeah, he ended up being a really good ball player. So played tough football and Really just, it played on an edge all the time, which was fun to watch.
Here's our Caleb Williams winging it numbers. Here's how he performed. It's brought to you by our great partners at Hooters. Don't forget, December 9, we're at the Hooters in Aurora, one of 11 Chicagoland locations near you, originalhooters.com. Caleb, 19 of 35, 239 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 rushes for 21 yards. How would you guys grade Caleb's performance in the victory? If you had to give him a letter grade, where would you guys go?
I got to give him a B. I might have given him an A for 3 touchdowns. The problem was that sack fumble in the end zone really bugged me. And then I send you guys the 2 interceptions the Steelers should have had, which really could have changed the game. But look, you got to make the plays, man. And some of that heat Caleb puts on the ball makes it hard to intercept, right? But there also was the delay game. Right. And there also was a legal formation late in the first, that 2-minute drive they had for the field goal at the end of the first half, illegal formation. The quarterback's job is to make sure everyone's set before he snaps the ball. And guys weren't set and he snapped the ball there. But that's where Ben Johnson comes into play and he calls that, that screen of Luther Burden has been dangerous now 2 weeks in a row. So those screens really are getting them out of trouble. And that was one of the things I thought about watching this football game is that good football teams overcome mistakes. And the Chicago Bears did that a few times in the football game where they're in, 2nd and 14 or whatever they're in, and they're finding ways to get first downs and get down the field. And Colston Loveland's turned into a real weapon, man. I mean, I think he caught like a 5-yard out this week, Tommy, and turned into a 17-yard gain. I mean, holy moly, man. Just a 5-yard, just a quick out route. So I'd give him a B cap. A little worried about these takeaways and some of these mistakes that he's making, but those touchdown passes were on the money and he's finding the right guy. Most of the time, I tell you what else I've been impressed with is his play under center is getting a lot better, which is what I thought he struggled with last year.
Yeah, I think a B is a good solid grade for him as well. The play in the end zone's inexcusable. I mean, you just can't have that. That's the last place. The thing is he's been so good at taking care of the football. I believe that only the Eagles are better in the league right now in terms of taking care of the
says football. 1 interception.
Yeah, 17-1 is his touchdown interception ratio. But he can't play based on a lot of people's evaluation. I don't know. That's a conversation for another time. But
he'll show you his Super Bowl MVP trophy.
Yeah, I mean, played exceptionally well in the 2 most important games anybody could ever play in. But yeah, I mean, there's still some mistakes. I love that Olin pointed out that quick out to Colston Loveland because, if you're going to complain about his completion percentage, which I have a lot, those are the types of plays that jack up your completion percentage. Just trust it because he turns a quick 5-yard out into a 12, 14, 15-yard gain because he's such a good athlete and it's such a mismatch. So just sometimes you got to kind of calm yourself and you don't have to big play hunt the entire time because with the weapons you have, a really kind of benign basic play can turn into a big play. So just kind of take it times. And I think he's still learning. Look, I'm comfortable with the progress that he's making. It's not perfect. No, there aren't many perfect quarterbacks in the league, but I think that's a great teaching point for Ben and everyone else inside that building. Get the ball into Colston's hands and let him be the reason why that's a 17-yard gain instead of you chucking it down the field, for a deep in on a 17-yard throw to a wide receiver.
All right, Kevin Byard is going to join us after we take a quick timeout. We'll let the guys have at it with one of the Bears' outstanding players and team captain. Kevin Byard joins us next.
Our family had been talking about redoing the kitchen for a long time. Studio 41 had all the pieces I wanted.
With Studio 41, we found their prices competitive. They helped us stay on a budget.
They spent a lot of time with me in the studio, and I got to touch and feel things.
Our big fear was if you go online, who's standing behind the product? Studio 41 had the best selection, and they took her ideas and brought it to life.
It was everything I dreamed it could be.
Visit studio41.com to find a showroom near you.
Okay, we're just here for dishwashers.
Just a dishwasher.
We forgot the dishwasher.
Vertical Chimney Care, our goal is to keep you warm and safe. Since 1985, we've been doing just that, providing our Chicagoland neighbors value, reliability, and peace of mind. From chimney cleanings and flue liners to fireplace rebuilds and restorations, the chimney technicians and expert masons deliver top quality inspections, maintenance, and repairs using the latest fire safety technology with quality you can trust. At Vertical, we aim to treat every home like it's our own home. Vertical, trusted by homeowners, built on care.
All right, Kevin Byard, Bears captain, joins us with Olin Kreutz, Tom Waddle. I'm David Kaplan at Studio 41, Football Recap Live. KB 8-3, and I'm watching you come off the field where you went, not the same old Bears. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great, man. You know, it's been a hell of a year so far. Obviously, just got a huge win on Sunday, and you know we're turning this thing around really quick on this short week. So it's been a couple long days at the facility preparing, and obviously doing as much as I can to recover to get ready for Friday. I was about to say Friday night, but just get ready for Friday, that 3 p.m. kickoff time. So excited to go back to Philly, man, and go out there and play a really good team.
Kevin, we always hear people say coaching matters. Put that into context for us, the importance of Ben Johnson and the message he provides you, and also Dennis Allen as well as your DC.
Yeah, I mean, coaching is, I think in the sport of football, is probably the most important. You know what I mean? Like, you can think about other sports, whether it's basketball and all these other things where, you know, sometimes you can just put the ball in Kobe's hands and he can go for 70. You know what I mean? Like, the sport of football, the coaching is so important. Last year in one-score games, we were 1-6. This year we're 6-1. And I think the difference of that is the coaching on the part of, you know, Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen and obviously the players going out there making plays, but coaching is highly important in this game because, you know, it's a huge chess match every single week. The schemes is different. There's you know, we all say it's a week-to-week league, but that's a true thing. So how coaches prepare us, how they game plan, and obviously the players are bringing it to life is highly important.
I've been sticking on the coaching topic. I was looking at the linebacker coach because I saw, you know, all these new linebackers are up and you had all kind of new guys out there, and, you know, Hippolyte goes down and all his starters are out. And I see it's this old guy, Richard Smith, 70 years old, looks like an old ball coach. Those are the kind of guy will tell you to go after yourself early in the morning, get your butt going. Tell us a little bit about the linebacker coach for the Bears and how he got his guys ready. And just, you know, I think he was coaching at what I got down here is Rio Hondo in 1979 is where he started.
No, it's funny. You kind of hit the nail on the head. He's one of those old school coaches. He's going to be the loudest guy at practice, getting his backers going in individual. He's like, he's old school to the core, man. No, but he's been huge. Obviously, you know, having TJ and Tremaine out for the last few games, or obviously only Tremaine his last game. You know, these backups has came in and played tremendous. You talk about DeMarco, and obviously Ruben got the start, but he got hurt early in the game, and then Amon came in. Those guys combined for 29 tackles, man. It's phenomenal. DJ's been in this scheme before. He's really good with the communication. So, yeah, you got to give a credit to the coach, man. Get those guys prepared and get ready to go. And then, obviously, those guys stand prepared for their moment, knowing that they haven't played a lot this year, but when called upon, they was able to go out there and make some plays, fly around. It was fun to see.
Kevin, I know, like Olin has always said to me, man, when the Bears win, it's just so much fun around the city. And Tommy will tell you doing an afternoon show. I do a morning show. Olin does the score. It's super cool to see how everyone reacts. Now there's a new song out. Have you heard this new song that's super popular about the Bears?
No, I haven't heard it yet.
Okay, we're going to play this for you.
Okay.
Two Chicago guys put this song together. It's about your football team, and it's the day that the Super Bowl Shuffle documentary drops. Take a listen to this.
Vibes better. Bear down. I got some barrels. Stare down. I got that Caleb. I head out. I got that Johnson & Johnson for all of you critics. My home, I don't play about. Oh, step in the cage. Calling you, pray you don't get in my way. It's not a stage. I'm not an actor. I'm snatching your heart and digging your grave. Digging your grave. I'm checking the conference and surfing the wave. Wave at these lions while running a fade. You never catch me. Got more on the way. To swift on my feet to be held by delays. whisker, homie. This that drill 'em hard, make 'em history, homie. Ain't no Loveland, that's the history, homie. This that Brian Earl out your ministry, homie. This that Walter Payton, 85 energy, homie. This that Mike Dicker, Hester history, homie. Bear down, we can't win. Bear down, we can't win. Bear down, we can't win. Bear down, we're not your friends. Bear down, we're not your friends. Bear down, we're not your friends. Bear down, we can't win. Bear down.
How cool is that?
Yeah, I like that.
Isn't
No,
that
that's
Olin
great,
wrote
man?
the lyrics. Didn't you, Olin? You wrote the lyrics to that song?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, not
Yeah.
only was the song cool, the highlight tape was pretty cool too as well. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard it, and I've talking to a lot of guys, and obviously people, former players, or just people, whether if it's in the media or people I see around town, like this, like you said, this city is on fire right now, man. It's rightfully so. I think the city deserves to have a winner. And we've been doing everything we can to win, man. So, but we also understand that, man, when you win in this time of the year, every game becomes bigger than the last. You know what I mean? Like, you look at the NFC right now, it's crazy to say, but we're probably going to have a 10-win team not make the playoffs this year. So we're so focused on just trying to continue to stack wins. We can't get complacent. We can't, look at what we've done so far and just say, hey, we've arrived. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of meat left on the bone, and we got to continue to stay focused on the now and just trying to continue to stack wins.
You watch a lot of tape. Thoughts on playing a Philadelphia Eagles team that they're coming off a loss to Dallas, but they're the defending Super Bowl champs, and you're in their building?
Yeah, man. I mean, the first thing, just obviously guys like Saquon and AJ, aren't having the years that they had last year, right? But we all know and understand what type of players these guys are. First and foremost, it starts with 26. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, this guy is a home run hitter no matter where he gets the ball, whether if it's out the backfield, a screen, just a simple swing right out the backfield. I mean, he's a guy we're just going to have to swarm to and make sure we just get population around him. And then two, for me, it's just like those explosive plays, right? Like, looking at it on film right now, Devontae Smith is the guy. He's the one that Hurts has the most chemistry with. He's finding him on option routes in the slot. He's the one that's getting all those deep balls down the field, making all those plays. But I played with AJ, his first 4 years in the league in Tennessee, or first 3 years in Tennessee. I mean, he's still a top receiver in his league, regardless of, the issue that may be going on with, the media stuff he's dealing with, man. He's still that guy when he gets the ball in his hands. He's the guy that can take it to the distance too as well. So, and then also with Jalen. Jalen's a quarterback who, regardless of what people says about him, man, he's a winner. He finds the ways to win. Kind of similar to our team, you know what I mean? Like, the things don't always look pretty. The stats aren't always the best, but he wins, and that's the most important stat. And he could throw the ball from inside the pocket, outside the pocket. But I think for us as a defense, we have to try to force him to win within the pocket, which I know he can do. But if I would take one of the two, I would say let's keep him in the pocket. Let's see if he can throw the ball down the field on us. And so those probably like my three biggest keys is, number one, stopping Saquon, getting population around him, limiting those big plays down the field with AJ and Smitty, and just, keeping Hurts inside the pocket as much as we can.
Kevin, there's a lot of great stories surrounding your team at this point at 8-3. And as a veteran that's accomplished as much as you've accomplished, you look at a player like Nahshon Wright, you see the year he's having and the path that he has taken. How gratifying is it to see that young man doing what he's doing right now?
Yeah, I personally think, obviously I'm not paying attention to every team in this league, but I think it's probably the best story in the league this year. You're talking about a guy that came in, was probably supposed to be a number 4, number 5 corner for this team, coming into OTAs. And, we all talk about the beauty of this league is taking advantage of opportunities, because you never really know how things go. And obviously you talk about Jalen Johnson, who missed most of OTAs, training on his own. And then obviously training camp, he got injured, and Nahshon Wright's basically been the starter the entire time. And we've seen the athletic ability and the 6'4" long wingspan, making plays at corner. And he's just completely balled out this year. I think he's rightfully deserved opportunity. Not only obviously he's earned himself some money for sure this offseason, but I think he deserves a Pro Bowl bid too. I mean, he's been playing outstanding for us as a team, and just happy to see, all the adversity even he's faced, a couple weeks ago with his former junior college coach being tragically murdered, just randomly. So I think just for him, just his story and what he's been through, it's nothing short but incredible.
And it is incredible. I'm really impressed with the awareness he plays with. Like he
Yeah,
knows the down and distance. Sometimes it looks like he's running a route for the
yeah.
wide receiver. He knows when a blitz is coming. I'm wondering, Al Harris Nation Wright reminds me a lot of Al Harris when Al Harris
Yeah.
played. Does that help out a lot where Al Harris can really help him with his game and the style of game he should be playing?
No, absolutely. I definitely think because I think obviously Al coming here, I think had a big influence of Nashawn coming here as well because obviously they spent time together in Dallas. When I being around Al for this past season, something that he always talking to us, especially the corners more than the safeties, but he's always talking about reading the quarterback's footwork, getting a good read on the quarterback, and obviously studying stems of the routes of receivers. And I think Nashawn has done a great job being with Al for a while, really honing on that. And you watch him and see the routes that he's reading. I mean, honestly, if you look at the Pittsburgh game, he probably should have had 3 picks. He caught the first one on the second play of the game. They tried another deep shot with him, which he dropped, and we kind of got on him. He had to do some push-ups on the sideline for that. But even the last play of the game where Brisker had the PBU at the end of the game, Nashawn was right. He probably would have picked 6 that, honestly.
Were you one-on-one with Freiermuth in the slot?
No, this was one that this was the 2x2 at the end of the game. It was actually I think it might have been DK on the sideline.
Okay, yeah. No, but were you one-on-one with Freiermuth in the slot there or no?
Yes, I was one-on-one, exactly.
I saw. Hey man, Dennis Allen was rolling the dice, man.
He was, that's what he's gonna do. Dennis Allen's gonna if he sees that the pressure's working, he's gonna run it back. He actually ran the same play twice on that situation, and they kind of just flipped hashes. But it's funny because Pittsburgh ran the same exact play twice, and it was like you don't run the same exact route twice on Nashawn. And he just sat on the route. He actually turned and looked at the quarterback before the receiver even did. And luckily, like I said, it was PBU, but he would have had another pick. So I mean, his instincts, his ability to not to just play free and kind of gamble. He's really just reading stems, getting the read on the quarterback. He's jumping and making plays. It's been special.
Hey, before we let you go.
Hey, Cap, let's not compliment Al Harris too much. We don't want to lose him after 1 year.
Yeah, exactly. Before we let you go, so I was reading about the good, better, best, the whole deal. And you said the first time Ben did it, you're like, what is this? And now everybody, the whole city goes nuts for it.
No, it's true because I think it might have been the Buffalo game at home. And like I said, it was just one of those deals where it's like, he's like, okay, everybody bring it up. And we're like, okay, like, what is he, And he's just saying, I just want you guys to repeat after me. And, because at first we don't know the words. It's not like he kind of prepped us like, hey, I got this little deal we're going to do at the end of the game. It was really just all, I won't say it was random, but it was kind of just like in the spur of the moment. And so we said it and it was okay, but it's just like, it's kind of like you're looking at the guys like, I don't know. That might have been a little corny, And but obviously, as you get in the moment, the excitement at the end of the games, and it's like now we're kind of just excited to say it, and we're all just kind of bought in. And obviously, when you listen to it, I mean, it makes perfect sense. And obviously, it means a lot to Ben. It means a lot, and you even see Poles and Kevin Warren getting in it at the end of the games too. So it's kind of just been our rallying cry, man. And that's just, like you said, it's something that for the Ben Johnson era, it's something that's definitely stuck with us. It's going to stick with the team in the city. I'm pretty sure you got T-shirts around the city and stuff like that now. So, it's been pretty cool. But like I said, at first, guys were kind of looking at it like, this might be a little corny. I don't know. But like I said, we bought in for sure.
Hey, thank you for your time. And by the way, Intercepted, oh, my God. Roma Dunze's getting 25,000 views. Jonah Jackson was outstanding. You are killing it.
Jonah Jackson is rolling off the ball, guys.
Man,
rolling off the ball.
So
it's unbelievable.
So I didn't see that until the end of the game, but seeing the replay of that touchdown that Kyle Monunga scored, like he literally could have just tiptoed into the end zone.
Everybody was in the end zone, Kevin. They took everybody in the end zone.
Yeah, but I'm excited about the next episode, man. Like you said, we got the 25,000 wrong. Hopefully we get to the 30s and 40 territory with the next guest. So I'm excited about it.
Look forward to it. Stay healthy. Happy Thanksgiving. We're thankful for you. And go get the Eagles.
Yes, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. You guys have a great night.
You too.
Happy Thanksgiving, man.
There he is, Kevin Byard, captain of the Chicago Bears. I keep hearing that the Bears want to get him re-signed.
I was going to ask him, Cap, hey, listen, I don't want to get personal, but have we talked about a little bit of an extension here? he's playing some of the best football of his career, and he's had a tremendous career. I think he's
two-time first-team All-Pro.
Two-time All-Pro, a first-teamer. So, I mean, look, if he doesn't find himself on a Pro Bowl team, if not an All-Pro team, you got to ask the people who they're voting, what's wrong with you?
Very, very consistent football player on film, right? When you turn the film on and you see that secondary looking to him, and I always think the secondary is a lot like the offensive line. They have to work together. They all have to communicate. They have to know their coverages. They have to know where their helps are, and they have to trust their guy. And I saw him this week with Brisker moving down the linebacker sometimes, and you see Gardner Johnson coming in late and Hicks coming on the field. They went to 3 safeties, and the one guy who they're all looking to when they're lost or don't know the call is Byard.
Yeah, and guys, I think he's going to be an asset for them as well. Remember, he spent some time in Philly. He can give you, and he spent time with AJ in Tennessee as well. Like, all that stuff is valuable when you tell the other guys in your meeting room, your DB room, look, this is the tendency of this player. This is the tendency of that player. I think it's all very valuable stuff.
Yeah, right. Cap, you give a guy like that who is going to be ready every week to play, who plays above average football every week. You pay him, respectfully and just keep him in your building. You can't find guys like that.
No, absolutely. Chevy drive of the game. Olin referenced it. 9 plays, 54 yards, took 428. It was Kyle Monungai finishing it off with a 2-yard touchdown run to put the Bears up 31-21. Olin, the offensive line play up front on that. Holy cow, were they moving people off the ball?
Definitely. I had a tweet today, and I asked Brandon Thorne and Duke Manyweather, they're 2 really respected guys, offensive line play. They study everybody in the NFL. And when I watched the Bears the last 3 or 4 weeks, I couldn't think of an offensive line that was playing better than the Chicago Bears. What I'm saying is I thought they were the best line in the NFL the last 3 weeks. Not a good offensive line. I thought they played on the highest level. You see Lane Johnson is out for the Eagles. They've taken a huge hit, losing their all-pro right tackle. And Tommy talked about Cam Jurgens just coming back, and you can tell he's a little injured, a little banged up, and that Eagles line not playing. Lions line struggling a little bit. Duke told me not yet, but trending in the right direction. I didn't ask him. I'd love to ask him who he thinks outplayed him the last 3 or 4 weeks, because I can't think of a team that has. But that's the kind of respect I have for what they've put on film and Coach Rochard. And obviously, a tip of the cap to Ryan Poles, and I've been on him a lot, right? I've been hard on Ryan Poles, and I thought he didn't build the offensive line. I was worried about the guys he put in that group this year. And they've come out there and they hired Dan Rochard and they brought Ben Johnson in, and this offensive line, Darnell Wright. Someone asked the question today, is he the best right tackle right now in the NFL, where the guy's not playing at high levels? And Cooney is just, gosh, man, Mr. Consistent, always in the right place. And Dahlman at center is doing a hell of a job. Run blocking, his pass pro has gotten better. He's making calls. This group playing at a high level.
All right, the Dr. Pepper play of the game. Unfortunately, it wasn't a good play for the Bears. TJ Watt strip sack of Caleb Williams that led to the Steelers touchdown that gave them a 14-7 lead.
Is this like a Steelers podcast? What's going on here? Did I end up on a Steelers podcast somewhere?
Yeah, you're a special guest on a Steelers podcast.
Brought to you by Iron City Beer.
What happened?
Dr. Pepper is an American original, just like our Bears. 28 flavors and a winning formula that football fans love. Grab an ice cold, refreshing Dr. Pepper.
Brisker's tip at the end of the game that won the game.
You.
Nashawn Wright's interception. Montez Sweat's caused fumble.
It also pushed TJ Watt past JJ.
What do I care about TJ and JJ? I really don't. I don't care about either of them. I really don't. We just beat them.
It was a big play, though.
No, I don't think it was. For them, I'm not a Watt family guy. I'm not. They got nothing to do with me.
He's a secret agent for the other team.
I don't know what's going on here. What did I get portaled into the Steelers podcast here? What's going on, Cap?
All right, I'll pick the
You're like a Watt. Are you a secret Watt fan? Like, are you a Watt? Like, are you a TJ Watt, JJ Watt fan all of a sudden?
I do like JJ Watt because he's a huge Malnati's guy.
Oh wow.
So, all right. If I made a change on it and I said the play of the game is the Jaquan Brisker pass block or the Nashawn Wright interception or the Grady Jarrett tipped pass, What would you guys pick as the play of the game?
I probably go with the Brisker tip at the end of the game to win the game. And Nashawn Wright was there, as Kevin Byard just explained to us, for the interception. But just the way the defense, I mean, they moved down the field against zone, and then Dennis Allen said, I'm going to heat him up. I'm going to get after this quarterback and put a bunch of – that's why I asked Byard, man. I mean, were you in the slot one-on-one with Freiermuth? Because that's a tough cover for a safety, right? And Brisker got beat a few times one-on-one in coverage. Look, he's not a nickel back, and they're asking, with all the injuries, they're asking him to do things that he's not used to doing. But that's why I asked him that question, because the impressive – that's what I'm talking about, buying. Like, whatever you ask us to do, we'll do, right? And that's the play I would go with, because that play – ended up winning the football, or not just the play that won the football game at that moment. Big play for a defense, as Tom mentioned, without 7 starters.
Time and place, and Brisker elevated. I think he was above the rim by a good foot. I thought that, and I would vote for that play as well. I thought the right interception early in the game set the tone. I really did. I thought it. I also thought it made Arthur Smith kind of go into a bit of a shell offensively. And maybe that's weird to say in the first series of the game, but like, I thought that play completely set the tone for the entire afternoon. So
that hell of a play. Olin, what did you think?
I'm trying to remember. Did TJ Watt win the game? He didn't win the game, dude. I'm trying to remember. Did he?
Who? Who?
Yeah, exactly.
What did you think of Caleb's? He kind of throttles down as he's going out of bounds. He's still on the playing field, and Jalen Ramsey lights his ass up. And Ben Johnson met the media today and said, look, just to be fair, he was still in play. That is not a dirty play. That's a guy playing to the edge of the whistle. But he said, what I loved is C.J. Gardner-Johnson and then a bunch of his teammates all jumped up in Caleb's defense. He said, that fired our football team up. Did you guys ever have a scrape like that? Like, Olin, did you ever get in one when they hit somebody you thought it was acceptable?
Whoa. Time out. Did you just ask Olin if he ever got a scrape on a football field?
I know he did, but I would
I'll send you a video tonight, Cap. You can see a bunch of the
You'll be up till fucking 4 a.m.
Everybody did the right thing on that play, right? Ramsey hit Caleb. The only guy did the wrong thing, and Caleb might have did the right thing, trying to slow down to get a personal foul, right? So everyone to me, and he got hit. And C.J. Gardner-Johnson, man, he's got something to say after every play. He is a fun guy to watch play football. And then I think Javon Dexter jumped up, and some of the linemen were running to him. And to me, everyone did exactly what they were supposed to do on that play.
Who did you ever get it? Who was the best fight you got in on a football field?
Oh, I don't even know, man. There's just like, so, back in the day, as Tom would tell you, they didn't break the fights up. They didn't, back in the day, they didn't throw flags. They didn't break them up. There was, things would go on for a good 30 or 40 seconds before anybody even stopped any of the stuff that was going on. So I remember one time I was down in Champaign, and Richard Seymour threw me over the quarterback, and he's a good football player, man. And he's talked a little trash to me, and I said, okay. And he was yelling for the ref to watch, because he knew that I wasn't going to try to get him back. So I snapped the ball. It was like the last play of the game, grabbed his face mask, pulled it down, and just started punching him on the spot. So that was just the way we played ball before. I mean, Tom will tell you, like, there wasn't a lot of rules before when we were out there. And before, guys used to visit guys at the bus if they had a problem. At the end of the game, I'll see you at the bus. And there were things getting settled all over the place, Cap.
Oh my God.
I would tell you this: I never got in a fight because I would have gotten my ass kicked. But Benny Blades hit me so hard, I think my grandmother felt it, and I was on the bottom of a pile. And Benny stuck his hand in my face mask and put his finger in my mouth and was fish hooking me. And I bit him, and he got pissed off at me, and he was like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" I was like, first of all, everything inside my face mask is mine. Everything on the outside of the face mask is yours, okay? If you put your hands in my face mask and you put your finger in my mouth, I'm going to fucking bite it, okay?
Dave Wanstead one time tried to get me fined.
He was kind of okay with it.
Dave Wanstead tried to get me fined one time because Sam Madison was doing the same thing, and I bit him. And they started yelling and I remember the NFL called me and they're like, I'm not paying the fine. And they're like, well, you bit the guy. I said, but ask yourself the question, how was I able to bite his finger? He was trying to dig my eyeball. Like, do the math, guys.
Yeah.
And did they take the money or no?
No, they didn't take the money. So
Love
I didn't get fined for that. I get fined for Fred Miller. And that tells you all you need to know about those stories.
Oh, wow. That's phenomenal.
I think one of the best rules I ever heard was what I said. Everything inside my face mask is mine. Everything on the outside of my face mask is yours. You come inside my face mask,
I'm going to bite you.
well, it's like we've got issues, So
They are Special Olympics Illinois special teams play the game. Cairo Santos 47-yard field goal to end the first half and get the Bears on the board and within 4 before the break. When voices tell us you can't or you won't, we simply say, I did. Special Olympics Illinois. So I did. Learn more at soill.org. Olin, I had to get some love in for Santos some way.
Oh, no doubt. Cairo Santos and the Watt family. We're going to do that every week now. Right? Like the Bears win a game and we're celebrating the Watt sack.
You know what's funny too is that came after an opportunity by the Steelers to actually intercept the football. So it turned from, hey, you turned the ball over and you didn't make the most of a good situation. It turned it into 3 points. So it was just another example of the Bears taking advantage of something that kind of bounced in their direction.
Yeah, I just kind of want to say too, Cap, that the sack was after like 5 seconds. It was kind of like he was blocked and Caleb rode out and rode into the, kind of like the sacks Montez Sweat got the last couple of games too. So just, it wasn't like this great like move, swim, arm over around the edge, and then he made Pete Darnell right and had a sack. It wasn't really that.
It wasn't that impressive, huh?
Not to me.
It was funny when he surpassed his brother who was calling the game. I was entertained by that. So that's why I picked it.
Two good football players.
Let's preview the Philadelphia Eagles game in our Illinois Tollway look ahead. Bears fans, let's be real. Whether you're heading to Soldier Field, cruising down I-90, or road tripping out of state, nobody likes sitting in lines at the tolls. And that's where iPass comes in. With iPass, you save 50% on Illinois tollways. It works seamlessly on all Easy Pass roads across the country. No more invoices, no more waiting, just automatic payments and alerts when your balance is running low. So if you're a true Chicago fan and you love speed and efficiency, join the team that always wins. Sign up for iPass today. All right, Olin, biggest two keys to this game on Friday.
The fun thing nowadays is when you see a guy like Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis and you see them and you're like, man, how are we going to handle them? And you remember you got Dahlman, Cooney, and Jonah Jackson, who we just talked about, right? And they talk about Phillips and they talk about Nolan Smith and obviously our left tackle. Ben's always going to plan to give whoever that is, Theo, probably this week help. But Darnell Wright, man, versus Phillips, and just that matchup as we got going on, obviously, and Tom will probably hit on this, but their skill positions versus our secondary and our linebackers is going to be a scary proposition for us. You saw the Steelers, we struggled with a lot when they were throwing the ball to the side and, getting the ball on the edge and making the linebackers run. Now, this week, when those guys have the ball in their hand, those are some weapons now that they have.
Yeah, Cap, I think like more than normal on a Sunday when you step up in class, you got to play clean. So you can't beat yourself. You got to continue to win the turnover battle. You got to continue to limit the mistakes. You got to stay ahead of the chains. You got to do all of those great football terms. Again, I don't think this Eagles team is as good or as in sync as the Super Bowl championship team from last year. But I think there are some warts on this team, and I think this is going to be a really competitive game. And I believe in this Bears offense. I don't think they're ever going to get blown out. So, I think it's going to be a battle in Philadelphia. At the end of the day, my guess would be that this game is really, really meaningful for the Eagles. So I think that you'll see them, kind of at their best. But I think it's going to be a dogfight. Maybe one that if you pushed me, I'd probably say Eagles 23-20.
All right, if you're saying 23-20 Eagles, I know Olin does not make a pick until Sunday morning. I usually get a text from Olin. I think we just lost him with some technical. I am saying that the Philadelphia Eagles win the football game 24-20.
Yeah, so we're kind of in the same ballpark. I think it's going to be a game. I think this Bears offense will keep them in all these games, including this one. And I just don't think that this Eagles offense is clicking on enough cylinders for them to pull away from anyone. As I said earlier, they're averaging 305 yards and 23 points per game. And they average 111 rushing yards and less than 40 yards per carry, despite having Barkley and Hurts in their arsenal. So I think they've underachieved a little bit on that side of the football. So I don't think they're going to get away from you.
OG, would you be stunned if the Bears won, or do you look at this game, it's a winnable football game?
I would be stunned. I'd be stunned if they beat the Eagles at home. Now, I picked against them the last 2 weeks too, so don't take my word for what's going to happen with the Chicago Bears. I think when I look at the matchups and Vic Fangio's first Ben Johnson, I just think that the team, when the Eagles lost, I was like, damn it, right? Because as Tom is saying, they had a lot of problems and questioned each other. Now they do still have a lot of those guys, and they have a lot of good coaches out there, and they have a lot of good players. So, but if the Bears, I hope they stun me, man. But I do expect them to be competitive. I don't expect it to be a blowout at all. And it wouldn't stun me if they found their way to 3 or 4 takeaways and won the football game.
Guys, appreciate all the knowledge. We'll be at Hooters again on December 9 in Aurora. Next week, we'll be right back here on our online show. Here's hoping that the Bears find a way. Thankful for you two guys. Best to your families. Have a wonderful rest of your week and a great holiday.
Fellas.
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys in the Watts. Have a good one.
Oh, wow.
Our family had been talking about redoing the kitchen for a long time. Studio 41 had all the pieces I wanted.
With Studio 41, we found their prices competitive. They helped us stay on a budget.
They spent a lot of time with me in the studio, and I got to touch and feel things.
Our big fear was if you go online, who's standing behind the product? Studio 41 had the best selection, and they took her ideas and brought it to life.
It was everything I dreamed it could be.
Visit studio41.com to find a showroom near you.
Okay, we're just here for dishwashers.
Just a dishwasher.
At Vertical Chimney Care, our goal is to keep you warm and safe. Since 1985, we've been doing just that, providing our Chicagoland neighbors value, reliability, and peace of mind. From chimney cleanings and flue liners to fireplace rebuilds and restorations, chimney technicians and expert masons deliver top quality inspections, maintenance, and repairs using the latest fire safety technology with quality you can trust. At Vertical, we aim to treat every home like it's our own home. Vertical, trusted by homeowners, built on care.
Studio 41 Football Recap Live is brought to you by Studio 41 Home Design Showroom. 13 locations, studio41.com. Vertical, in business since 1985. Chicago's chimney experts for chimney cleanings, masonry work, gas logs. Verticalchimney.com. Your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers, the official truck partner of the Chicago Bears. Hooters. At Hooters, originality isn't just one thing, it's everything. World-famous wings and more, served up by the iconic Hooters girl. Hooters, always original. Dr. Pepper, an American original, just like our Chicago Bears. Grab an ice-cold, refreshing Dr. Pepper today at a McDonald's near you. Special Olympics Illinois. Special Olympics Illinois, so I did. Learn more at SOILL.org. Apt. For the best appliances for football season, shop at Apt. Pleasing people since 1936. Find them at apt.com. 4 Seasons. Heating, plumbing, air conditioning, and electric. For all the right reasons, 4 Seasons. The Illinois Tollway. If you're a true Chicago fan who loves speed and efficiency, join the team that always wins. Sign up for iPass today. Driving to the Bears game? Get a 50% discount on your tolls with iPass.